So do you see this true framework? Okay, so all we need is the description for this one, content. So now we want to discuss. So here we have, first of all, how did this exercise made you feel and then activate your core values as an advocate for sustainable development? So whoever wants to take the floor first, please go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks, Marie.
Can I start? I'm a chemistry teacher in Croatia, and something similar I do with my students. I teach chemistry, and they have to collect water examples in their homes or the places they live. And when we back to school, and we analyze the water to know why is it polluted. What kind of data we can collect, like hardness of the water, amount of some metals, pH level, and so on. And we have microbiological analysis, and we have some conclusions, and they have to investigate what kind of method they can use to remove this content from the water. So after all that, they have to write some report about the methods they're using, about exploring, and about what they know about the methods and the water pollutants. So I use some online applications like Chemix or Canva to do that, and they are very happy when they do something important. And when they feel important, like I'm asking them to do something for the community, and they're very important and very happy to do so.
Thank you so much, Marina. So maybe Lenka, you want to go next, if that's okay? You are on mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm a teacher of chemistry from Slovenia. Like my colleague from Croatia, she's also a teacher, as I heard. So in my school, we have very similar methods as our colleagues from Croatia said. So our students also have to collect water sometimes during the school year from their homes or from their nearby lakes or nearby river. They bring the water into the school, and then we made biological and chemical analysis. So it is very similar, as a colleague from Croatia said. We use different methods. Sometimes we do also chemical analysis on a place where the water is, so we can take with us a special, how we call them, package of different chemicals, so that we can do analysis on the place where the water is. We don't need to bring into the lab. Yeah, and at the end, students have to write their own report with the help of Padlet or Canva or PowerPoint and so on. So that's very good. Very good method. I think that they see the problem of pollution, the water that is polluted, and they have to think about how to help that the water won't be so polluted. But in fact, in Slovenia, we don't have so much problem with pollution. That's also true, but sometimes happen that we can also use some signs of pollution.
Uh,
So very
yeah.
similar work as colleague from Croatia's already
Thank you.
described.
Thank you, Lanka and Marina. So before I go to Mo and Jarwin, may I just quickly, since you both of you have already shared, have you done the identity exercise already? I think I'm not sure because I haven't had a chance to go through all of the submissions. So when you did the exercise in terms of thinking about who you are as an advocate for sustainable development, you know, how, when you were reflecting how the insights from there you know, if you combine them together with the framework here, when your students become knowledgeable, resourceful, flexible, disciplinary thinker, and also building disciplinary habits of mind, how do you think your core values, the values that you hold as an individual and educator, are kind of can kind of encourage you to make your students all of those things described in the content dimension? I think maybe Mo and Jarwin, you could also share already. Yeah.
Okay. Can I start now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Mo, math teacher from Thailand. I think I'm feel really very familiar with activity in that school because in Thailand and I as a math teacher, what I can observe from the first video, I feel very helpful that this activity can engage students to develop the problem from real problem in their situation in their school or the canal nearby, so they can develop their knowledge by observing and experiment, and then they bring back and they can experiment and do more research about the water. It doesn't matter. All students think about the water they brought. Some people might think, oh, this is good for animal, or somebody might think, oh, this is not good, like they said, oh, not bad but not good. Yeah, I think it's great, very great to start for them to think about the problem, and if they want to do something for a better water in canal, a better life in their in a community. So this is what I can observe, and so as they can research more about this real situation, so when they're back to school, they can discuss with their group and brainstorm what they can do something if they want the very clean water or really clear water and good smell, feels the smell better. So they might think about scientific things or do research more how they can do it, or somebody might need some equipment or tools or material to help, like a innovation to explore to answer the problem they have. That's all that I can mention about this activity. Thank you.
Jarwin?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm from the Philippines. I'm actually a mathematics teacher. I am a 11th grade mathematics teacher. I am teaching general mathematics. So based on the video that I've seen earlier, it's actually more on science, and it was stated there that they are more onto having discovery learning to students, especially to students. They will be the one to research and try to look for solutions. And if I'll try to relate it to my subject, which is mathematics, I think it is very helpful as well, because from the content perspective, we all know that in mathematics, some of the most of the students actually hate mathematics. I mean, if you could tell in the Philippines, a survey was actually done in 2019, where in the Philippines belongs to the last rank when it comes to mathematics comprehension level as well as science. So I believe that it is a very challenging moment for teachers here in the Philippines, especially those who are teaching science and mathematics, on how you can effectively teach the content of your lessons to your students. And based on the video that was stated and it was showed earlier, it made me realize that one of the best ways where a student can learn is for them to discover it in their own. Because if they know the purpose on the activities that they are taking part of, then they would be interested to look for solutions, especially like, for example, in the video earlier, wherein given problem wherein there is a canal, which is a dirty canal, and then you just have to look for ways in order you can filter or you have to make sure that it will be clean. So they were the one who researched, they were the one who looked for solutions, and they enjoyed this as well. They enjoyed it and they also learned from it. So I think that is one of the things that we need to reflect on, especially in dealing contents in mathematics and in making discussions to our students, that we do not just give topics or contents, we do not just give discussions, but we have to make sure that they are learning and they understood what they are doing, so that they themselves will be motivated to study and motivated to understand the topic at hand. I think that is one of my main reflections in the given.
Thank you. Thank you, Jarwin. So we have yet to hear from Glory Jean. So she's, I can see, waiting. So thank you for explaining about the videos and how, you had a reflection on that in the context of this exercise. But we would also like to kind of know in a way how the identity envelope exercise, like when you were doing it, the core values that you were reflecting on who you are as an individual and as an advocate for sustainable development, how are those aligned with, in a way, how you can help your students become, like create the type of learning environment where all of these content elements are reflected. So maybe Glory Jean, you can tell us about that.
Good afternoon. I'm Glory Jean from the Philippines also. So yes, I agree with you, Ma'am Jyoti. So it is right that having this activity is really great help in the field of education, since this activity also helped me realize that we have to use more on our creativity, more on to give focus, especially on the contextualization, wherein we can make use of the environment as our focus of the study, instead of giving other examples that is not contextualized. So that makes the students constructivist learners. So thank you.
I really like that you mentioned context. Isn't that the essence of everything that we do, having the right context, right? So thank you for bringing that up. I think just to share also my view, because I have done the exercise a while back as well. One thing that helped me was, I think, curiosity. Like that's one of my values as well, feeling curious. So whenever we try to do something and we work together as a team at ASAF, I tend to focus on how we can make our participants more curious, how we can create a scenario where they feel more curious. So in terms of, I think, content, I feel that my values as a, curiosity, my value as being curious, I think it helps me to create something where I feel like our participants should be more resourceful and in a way to disciplinary thinker as well. So that's why whenever we work, we try to bring framework, because it creates a discipline in a way, right? So that's my way of kind of navigating through the type of activities we want to do. So hopefully when you are doing the exercise and understanding your values, it gave you some background to kind of help you build the pedagogical practices in action learning phase. So I know with a very short session, 20-minute session, it's not possible to go through all of it and deeply reflect, but we hope this is a starting point and you use this as a starting point to work in your teams so that you can after today, through this exercise, it helped you break the ice a little in terms of how to approach conversation when you work on the action learning phase. So please, if any of you have any other insights to share, go ahead. And I have to go back to the main room so that I can send a message to every group that we will be closing the breakout room in a few minutes. So please go ahead, continue the conversation.
Your name is the
Just did that.
Larbordo? Sorry?
Yes. Just did that.
Just did that.
Hello,
Just did that.
John.
Hello. All right. Woo. Two handsome guys and two beautiful ladies. Woo. What a great combination. Great. So let's go one round of sharing and speak a bit about yourself as an educator, but more importantly, quick question. Have you done the assignment, the identity envelope? Done? Okay. Ines, have you finished the identity envelope assignment?
Yes, I have. And on Friday.
Woohoo!
Did you got it?
My job is to make sure all of us, graduate well.
Yes, I
and
did.
heard this is
I
assignment
did. It was very interesting experience. I enjoyed it.
Great. What aspect of it do you enjoy?
I enjoy this process of thinking what sustainable really is for individual. My point of view that local community is very important to activate in sustainability, but I think that change must come from individual. That we must recognize why sustainability is so important for future and for environment, for social, for economic, and that we can then we can change think how government decide what really must do about this issue and this global warming and this climate change. This is point what I was started in Friday where I finished my homework.
Well done, and thank you for sharing. Eugenia, do you want to share about your own experience as you go through the identity envelope? And how has it helped you to think deeper and relate to your personal values? Eugenia, please.
Yeah. Yeah, those thoughts, I keep having them sometimes. I find I still have a challenge that I need to deal with it. We kind of like when we try to be, as an individual, trying to live with the minimum carbon footprint and all those things, and then getting involved or integrating in a society that has totally different values, it's very challenging and very hard. So sometimes I see the perspective like I know I would like to be an example, especially like our function of like a teacher has to give example. But on the other hand, it's very hard. In our daily life with a society that challenges fast, almost the opposite. I will say that really, the economy has to be like profit, more society consuming oriented. And on the other hand, I'm becoming more minimalistic. On the other hand, I feel that I'm less integrated with that system because I don't believe in it anymore. But for me, it's okay because I'm a grown-up person. But for the young people, I cannot give the choice to that. I've been living enough experiences that I know what I want to do. But for the young generation, it's very hard because I think this big values of consume, profit maximization, it's still very big in a society where we're trying to give the opposite values, be a little bit minimalistic, look at the resources. There's a lot of solution oriented, but it has to come for individuals for sure. And how do you spread that? And you try to overcome that. And it's always not easy. And for the young people, probably as well, not, even harder. because they still don't have that perspective, which is normal.
You're right. You're right. That was very nice. I like what you just said about perspectives, and it comes with life experience, right? I mean, honestly, who doesn't want a life that's easier, more faster, get whatever it wants, But everything comes at a cost. Everything comes at a cost. And this notion of cost, is it a distant notion to them? Is it too far away? Like, it doesn't affect me. It's your money, not mine. It's the government, not me, right? So a lot of finger pointing. And that's what makes this topic a very hard curriculum to teach. Let's go to Houston. You're the wise one. Look at how neutral you are. Let's hear your thoughts.
I'm sorry, Jen. I just left a while ago because I need to attend some of my students there outside.
Oh,
I'm so sorry for that.
It's okay.
I was lost.
It's all right. Have you done the identity envelope assignment?
Yes, I've done it already.
Great.
The moment the facilitator sent the link, I work it out.
You guys are some of the most, a lot of people haven't done yet.
Really? Oh my God.
I'm so proud of you. Yay. All right. So Mr. Labrodo, tell us from the assignment, what
these activities, this envelope, identity envelope, I found it hard. I find it hard to contemplate, to reflect the things that I need to consider before I send these pictures, 3 pictures, I guess. Well, I could still remember I have chosen the butterfly, the butterfly, because I want to transform. I want to transform more ideas. Because this is an innovative approach, innovative programs by these by ASEC.
Yes.
So I want to get involved more.
Nice.
To learn more for this, how many? 71, 69 bright educators all over Asia and Europe. So one thing I have learned aside from that is my contribution. I need to contribute something to my community, not just only for my students, not just only for the school, for the station I have worked with, but also for the entire community, for the entire community, so that we could be able to create this innovative approach in our curriculum. You know what? Here in our country, in the Philippines, we've experienced I guess some Thailand also. We experienced lots of calamities for the past few years. Last month we have this typhoon. Well, I consider this platform, this program, to look for an innovative approach wherein I could be able to create a device or a tool for us to be aware of the incoming typhoon, which is to be implemented and to be acted by our students, not those people in authority, but our students perhaps.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenge, but at the same time, the most rewarding part, where we don't just teach theory, but we want students to have that sense of, I can do something, I want to do something, and I can celebrate results.
Yes,
and I think that's something that we need to all have that perspective, because really today, we can't say that curriculum is neutral as educators, right? Because we have to take a stand, right?
Yes.
And eventually, if we want our students to become responsible and caring of the environment, then what is our personal stand in some of these? I intentionally chose this. Do you know what this is? Do you know what's my background?
From Singapore.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's from Singapore.
Ladies, I don't know whether, okay, Mr. Labrador, he knows Singapore very well because we're like close buddies, very close. But ladies, how much do you know about my country? I'm very proud to be a Singaporean. Yay.
I'm in Malaysia. so not far away.
Oh,
So I
oh.
know Singapore too.
Got it. Ines, have you
I'm in
been to
Kuala
Singapore?
Very far, far away from you.
Yeah, I want to be a Croatian.
But we are close. Now we are close. Thanks
That's
to
right.
digital communication. So
That's
it is
right.
very good.
Yeah. And I intentionally chose this because, and Eugene is going to tell you this, Singapore is so small.
Yes.
So small on the map, is just like dot, right? And we don't have any natural resources. In fact, we're so blessed. We're so blessed because we don't suffer from typhoons or hurricanes. No, we don't. We get floods and all that, but because we're so small. But I intentionally chose this because Singapore is also known as the Garden City. The Garden City. And this is Marina Bay, the gardens, where you can see that
Yeah.
they look like trees. This is one place
Okay.
that you should come and visit. Right. So while
That's
they look
great.
like trees, huh?
That's my greatest dream, to visit Singapore and to see that.
Come.
I
But I like this place because it also signifies the vision and the action of Singapore. That we also very much look into environment. And it's not just about planting more trees, but having conservative efforts as well as reducing carbon footprints. And a lot of these are actually implemented into our policies and into our, even the way that we design our country, right? And so if you've gone to these places, into gardens, you will realize that in there, while it is air conditioned, because Singapore is very hot, but the air condition is actually helping in terms of not just cooling the place down, but the way that it's designed in terms of architecture, right, helps the way that it's solar panel, right, the way that it uses energy and conserves some of these really drives that, right? So I mentioned this because one of my personal beliefs is we need innovative ways to engage students to rethink about their future, not just our future, but their future, right? What is your personal stand? And reason why I talk about the content earlier from the True Framework, that's, I think, your assignment after this week, where the teams will come together and action learning to start using the True Framework. And that's why I started with the very first domain. The first domain is looking at the content before we talk about agency and formative assessment, things like that. If I were to ask you, as an educator for so many years, what is one content that best, so when I talk about content, is a topic, is a concept, right? What is one concept that best signifies your position and your values as an advocate for sustainable development? Let's go back one round. What is one concept that you teach and you still feel passionate about, that you feel that it has the largest impact on your students when they learn this from you? Ines, let's hear from you.
Well, thank you. When I see this picture, I thought that it's from Cartoon Network, cartoon film. I didn't believe that it's a real thing. So congratulations, really. Well, I'm a geography teacher, and Earth is my specialty. So sustainability of ecosystem and climate system. This is not just atmosphere. This is a lithosphere. This is a hydrosphere. This is a soil. Well, for me, I teach my students that this is like organism. Earth, it cannot separate these elements and destroy it. Just one, and hope that other system will be preserved. So I try to teach them that if we destroy soil, we will destroy biosphere, we will destroy atmosphere, and we will destroy our health as a population. So climate migrants, crisis, not energy crisis, social crisis will be more and more issue to talk about, and unequal places and societies will make more crisis. So this is for me, it's a very big circle, and I try to give them that big perspective, the bigger frame, not just I will buy new shirt and I will buy new sneakers and I will make for me a very good thing for buy it. But textile industry it's more problem, and this is how I try to teach my students to think about how they can change their habits, and so help a little bit, but everything it's drop, but we make a drop, and then we make a lake, then we make a sea, then we make a river. So this is my way of thinking.
Thank you. And rightly put, because oftentimes in our little ecosphere and our narrow perspectives, we don't see the consequences of our actions. We don't. Right? So that metaphor was great. Thank you. Eugenie, what about you? What is one subject area? What is one concept that you teach that allows you to show the advocate?
Okay.
Oh, 4 minutes left. 2 minutes, guys. Let's go.
At the moment, I'm teaching French as a new language. So it's kind of hard because I only speak French to the students and their vocabulary is quite limited.
Right.
What I do at school as well is that we have a group of students, parents, and teachers who talk about sustainability. So we're trying to make projects with the students, and at least once a year we have like an Earth Day. And then what we create in this Earth Day goes towards the whole year, and we try to increase this create awareness. And through that with the topics of sustainability, it's been really nice because as you said, like learning by doing with actions, and really those Earth Days, it's really action. Either you go to some place, go what you find in the trash, try to recycle, try to understand. We've been making like plastic with new materials as well, like organic materials, and we're trying to reduce all the single-use plastic that we have at the school. So we have a lot of projects going on, and it's nice to have like we have a green committee of students, and it's growing, and the awareness is growing. So that's really nice. But apart from that, I think which is important, it's probably the way we talk to the kids, and that's for any subject that we teach, to be solution oriented. And this is, I think, a big key. They need to be solution oriented in everything they do. And this is something that I think it's good for sustainability, but it's good for everything. So every time like, oh, I forgot that. Okay, what's your solution? Find a solution. And this is a way of thinking that I need. It's very important nowadays when we see a culture of people just like showing that they're not happy, but not trying to get action towards that. And I see it as well in the politicals. I mean, the politicals programs are more about saying what the others didn't do instead of really explaining a program. And that's what we need to change. We need to work solution oriented. And that's what I try to be an advocacy of, that solution oriented in every field, because I think for sustainability and for the other matters.
Excellent. Because we don't have much time, Mr. Labrador, inspire us. Come, what do you feel most passionate when you teach, and what concepts do you use? Ooh.
Well, actually, I am teaching English in our school, and we
Mhm.
do have this gulayan sa paralan. In short, that's vegetable in the garden. We have this
Oh.
vegetable because we believe that great things start from small beginnings. Well,
Mm.
I guess this could be a helpful way to develop this. I mean, to sustain to develop this program. I
Mm.
integrated this in their requirements in their concept paper, position paper,
Mm.
but in relation to science. That's why
Mm.
we have just this activity or innovation in our school. It's just a small thing, but I guess
Right.
I do believe that great things start from small beginnings. We don't need to start it from the higher one because we don't have budget at all. So it's just that's it.
That's good.
Have to be at school now, so it's very strange. So I think that I am not sure I did it right, because when it was to choosing a picture, it was written of anything. So for me, it was difficult to choose an object or to think about an object. So I chose some pictures with myself doing different activities. In most, there were 3 pictures. All of them are related to being outdoors, to being in nature, to taking part in different activities. Either as an individual or by myself or in my community. So it was, I mean, the first thing which came to my mind was I will choose a picture with myself doing certain things. And after that, I thought, is this right or wrong? And after having listened to you and Mr. Yo, I am just wondering if I got it right or not. But as the previous speaker, Hanadi, was saying, I think for our pupils, it's much easier to represent or to talk about themselves in terms of images rather than themselves. I don't know why. Maybe they don't perceive or they don't understand the meaning of this. What are you like as an individual? And it's easier for them to do it. But I will most definitely try to ask them. So yeah, while thinking about the pictures, I thought, what do I want to say? Who am I? What do I want the others to know about myself as a person, as an advocate for sustainable development, like nature, environment, and trying to take care, let's say, and make the others aware of what we have around in my community, because my pictures had to do something with community and area where I live.
Thank you. Anyone else, maybe?
Yes, hello everyone. Yeah, when I went through the exercise that was given to us, it came to my mind about, about protecting our planet and how to maintain sustainable development. Now, after doing the exercise or the activity, I was able to understand more about my role as an individual, roles and responsibilities as an advocate for sustainable development. I could picture myself as a person or like a shepherd, for example, because a shepherd is a person who tends, rears, gives guidance, direction, and carefully manages resources. Resources. So we should always keep in mind that as human beings, biblically speaking, we are the stewards of this world. So we are the stewards of the earth, and thus it is our responsibility to look after the welfare of the world that we live in if we want to help attain a more just and sustainable world. So it was somewhat an eye-opening on my part, because I'm a former youth leader in the community, but now as a teacher, teaching science, and undergoing this course, this program, I am made more aware that it's not just imparting knowledge and how we can achieve sustainable development, how can we can protect the environment, but it's what you can do as an individual to contribute on achieving these goals, on how to achieve sustainable development. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, maybe? Okay, maybe we can move to the second question. So how does the true framework, especially the content section and core values that we explored, help you in this exercise and maybe even in your personal life as teachers? So I'm going to share the true framework instead. Are you seeing it? Because I don't know whether I'm sharing my entire screen or... Okay, I know what that's from. There you go. Can you see the true framework now? Is the true framework visible to you?
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Can you scroll a bit down, please, so we
Of
can
course.
see everything? Just a bit.
There you go.
Yeah, now that's okay.
Thank
Is
you.
that the whole of it? Okay.
Yes. So we can focus on the content section for now. So how does this content section sort of help you in relation even to the envelope activity and to how you're going to produce your final product for this sort of professional development session? What is the role of content in your opinion, and how does it shape values, for example? So I think maybe for me, content is a starting point. I think it's very important to have information that and then we can use to develop other aspects, so such as skills, such as values. So maybe the content or the classroom activity is going to help produce this knowledge that is the basis of then developing our values and also of shaping our actions. I mean, if I am not aware of the importance of recycling, I'm not going to carry it out, most probably. So I think content has a very important starting role, but I don't think it should be the only aspect to consider, because if we just stop at knowledge level, we are not going to achieve any skills or develop any values or complete any goals or improve the situation. How does it feel for you?
So, content. For me, I teach in Romania. For me, it's not that it's something new, but in Romania, we already have course books. We are already given certain contents. Of course, we can change it. So for me, this time, I think it will be almost a first when I would have to design or to think about something from the scratch. And it's, as you said, I believe I need to have an idea. I need to set some topics, I don't know, related to what most of my students would be interested in, so that I make them motivated, I don't know, take part, to take part and to be active when it comes to my lessons. I don't know. I'm here for my pupils, and probably the more they learn, being guided a bit, but also doing by themselves, the better chances there are that they know how to solve different problems or how to deal with different situations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else wants to add on this? Or maybe how do these activities that we've done so far, the sessions that we've had so far, how do they help you with the planning of the innovative teaching, scenario, or let me see exactly what the correct way of referring to it is, the innovative teaching practice that you will produce as a result of this course. How do the sessions we've done so far, the activities, and also this true framework give you any ideas for the innovative teaching practice you will be producing?
I have already asked some of my pupils. I mean, they are divided into groups, and I have already asked them after talking a bit about climate change, and I asked them to think how they could work together in order to come with certain solutions to certain problems. And I gave them some examples. Like at a certain point, we had some pictures and we had to talk about it, like floods. I know that I was in a group where there were landslides and floods and different problems caused by, yeah. So I was thinking about this. And so I asked my pupils to think about some issues they deal with, either in their families at home or at school, or in the villages they live, such as how to reduce energy, yeah, or how to better recycle, or how to, what would the solutions be to have, to save costs, energies, and things like this. So I just gave them some ideas. They will think about it, and I asked them to make them as, not as personal as possible, but to really think and to come with solutions to real problems. So not like, oh, people in Africa. No, we don't live in Africa. We are here in Romania, and we live in a small village with our problems, pollution from factories, some water pollution also. So how would they think, and what actions, what would they do in order to make, first of all, people aware that these problems really, that there are such problems, and after that, some solutions to them.
I think this is a very important point you made, Anka. I hope I'm pronouncing your name well. Thanks for your contributions. I think what you said about, considering solutions to problems in your community or in your locality, I think that's very powerful. I mean, it's nice to think about how we can problem solve for other people in other countries, but if we don't start with actually carrying out actions that are going to make a positive impact around us with what we can see, then I think it will be very hard for our idea to actually make an impact in, you mentioned Africa, for example. So I think that's a very important aspect, to being relatable to a local community and to your local context. And I hope that in your innovative teaching practice, although you'll be working in groups and you will be from different European and Asian countries, you manage to in some way integrate some local aspects. I think that's a very interesting idea and approach, surely. Thank you. Anyone else who can contribute further or maybe mention their idea or something, even maybe not related specifically to the questions, some thoughts or anything in this respect?
Yes. To date, there are many attempts to educate the public as our students in school about what is happening in our environment, about the climate, about global warming and everything. Most of the time, we relied on scare tactics that focus on calamities, like, for example, superstorms, floods, ominous weather patterns, and the like, that generates fear. But fear actually can inhibit the desire to learn more and take action on the part of our students, particularly in young people, if you would agree with me. So young learners need academic reasoning. So instead of scaring them with, say, for example, what is happening in, for example, in this part of the world. So instead of scaring them, we must instead give academic reasoning and structure in order to contextualize, just like Anka had mentioned a while ago. You have to localize these ideas and have an outlet to ask questions that will help put your fear at ease. So teaching our learners about what is actually happening in our environment, for example, climate change, is not solely to spur them on to take action, actually, immediately, not immediately, and do your part for the environment, although that is, of course, one aspect of it.
Thanks a lot for your contribution. Yes,
But then it is also because in the future, the next leaders of our country or of the world, they will be growing up in an era where they will be the ones to be responsible for developing solutions that the world is facing. So there, so instead of the usual scare tactics that we do, I believe that it is much better that we give academic reasoning to them, understand what is actually happening, and knowledge and understanding, they can do themselves develop solutions for our existing problems. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your contribution. Yes, I agree very much with you. I think we should empower the students who are actually our future leaders rather than scare them. I think now we're going to wrap up this session. So I thank you all for your contributions, and we'll see you back in the main room. You can click leave breakout room, or it will take you there in a minute. Thanks once again.
So I see that slowly everyone is coming back to the main room, and I see almost, let me see if anyone is in the breakout room. No. Okay. So can a group volunteer and share how was the discussion like? And then if you want to highlight anything from your discussion, please go ahead. I'm going to just pick a group, So John, how was your group? Maybe you could share from your group.
I'm very proud to say in my group, everyone has done the identity envelope. So, woo!
That's good.
and I think what I like about the sharing is from the exercise, they learned a lot from themselves. Ines from Croatia, she thought this picture behind me was from Cartoon Network. And I said, no, this is from my country. So I'm from Singapore. So Ines shared a lot of interesting thoughts about what you teach in geography and how the exercise inspired her. So Ines, would you want to inspire us again? I think you have so much wisdom. We want to hear from you again.
Thank you, John, and thank you for these lovely words. I'm geography teacher, and I teach my students that Earth is a system of lithosphere, biosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere. And if we think like in a big picture, we try to I try to teach them that they are small drop, but that small drop can be a lake, can be a river, and can be a sea of good ideas. How can we implement sustainability in our life, and then make a change in a global, in a local communities, and then bigger number of local communities can make a change and impact that in a policy of government or more. Thank you.
Thank you, Ines. So I just quickly wanted to highlight one thing that came up in our group discussion. Glory Jean, she mentioned it. It was context. Understanding the context whenever you are trying to create a learning environment for your students, and that also aligns with your review. Understanding context is very important. So thanks so much for that, Glory Jane. Maybe now we can hear from Alexia and Rekha's group. Who is ready to go first?
Can you hear me now better?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. So in my group, I think it was really interesting that my group members had the same feeling as me about the identity envelope. First, we were overwhelmed how we're going to use images to represent our values and how we feel about sustainability, but eventually it was very fruitful for us as an activity, and most participants said that they consider using this activity in the future, even with their students, to help them reflect. And two other points that I think stood out were mentioned by different participants about the importance of focusing mainly or initially on local problems and identifying solutions for local problems, because we're discussing about the innovative teaching practice that we might develop. And so it was mentioned the importance of focusing on the local so we can really see the impact of our work, and also the importance of empowering students rather than just scaring or using scare tactics and stopping at that level, but rather empowering of how we can move forward and identify solutions. So those are what struck out to me from our discussion.
Thank you, Alexia. Rekha, your group?
Yeah, we had also very nice discussion in our group, and also almost all of the members completed the identity envelope. This is where John would say, "Ooh, yeah." Yeah. It was very interesting to see how some teachers get inspiration from their own identity that relates more to the natural environment, whether they are from a certain part of the country or mountainous areas or sea areas, and how they bring it into the design of the content that they teach. But also, on the other hand, it was interesting to learn that others use concepts that they are passionate about in their teaching and in their content. For example, who was Daniel shared he's passionate about technology and digital things and how he uses that to teach sustainable development. Or Anna shared that she's passionate about space, which is not really often among sustainable development goals, but she's using it as a concept to teach the students that there's no limit to their thinking. It's unlimited. And actually our discussion was cut short because Niam was just sharing some thoughts how she was planning to use this concept, this exercise in the future to design innovative teaching practices. And I would like to ask her to invite her to finish her thought. Why did you find this exercise useful?
Hi. Yeah, I suppose I think that images are always powerful, and that as an actual exercise, I think it would be a valuable way to start lots of different topics that you were hoping to teach in sustainable development. Especially, I suppose, as I said, I'm a biology teacher, so it is very easy. A lot of our discussion, well, for me anyway, the images that I chose were around nature, quite a lot of them. So I think that I would enjoy doing that with my students before we started looking into certain topics like biodiversity or you know, maybe studying the seashore ecology or that kind of thing.
Thank you, Nim. in our group is also actually Marina and Lenka. They are both chemistry teachers. So they were also talking about similar things. I'm not sure if any of you would like to highlight something, Lenka and Marina. Okay. So I think if no one else have anything to add, we'd just like to highlight why we did these breakout room discussions to break the ice, because these are the discussions that you were going to have when you were during the action learning phase. So this is a start. So you have hope that with this breakout room discussion, it doesn't end here. This is a starting point. We are in a way giving you the tools and starting the process, warming it up so that you can, you know, take these tools to have a more concrete and structured discussions during the action learning phase instead of, you know, not knowing where to start. So with that, so we will not go into the other 4 dimensions. This is just for your reference. There will be some pre-readings available in e-learning platform. So please check out for those. And if you could complete those by the next session, that would be great. And by the next peer-to-peer session, you will also know who are your team members.